It's the final day of week 1 here at the PUBG Europe Contenders. And when I say final day, it's the final day of the final stages, which means a little change around for us, Cormac.
Yep.
5 games coming out today. And as always, nothing changes. You've just got myself, James Bank, joined by the marvellous Imperium, aka Cormac, to take you through all the action every single day here. But I am coming a few days off next week. I'm disappearing for a little bit again. I'm leaving you to your own devices. We'll have a special guest that I'm sure you guys will love. It's all right, Cormac. I'll come back.
I miss you, man.
I know. It's a terrible thing to have to do, but
It's okay.
travel life chose me. I didn't choose it.
People just leaving me all the time versus Max now to you.
Maybe you're just a staple now, right?
That's a good thing.
Toby just vanished. Like he's just died slowly somewhere. He went off to PEL one time. Was like, I'm leaving these guys behind, and then I'm like, well, haven't seen you since, mate. Thanks, Toby. No shots fired at Toby. We do love him. We do love him. Fire all the shots at Max instead.
There you go. No. So this is the overall standings, going from 16th to 12th after 4 days of action. Better luck next time. They had a mare of a day yesterday, only scoring 2 points in total over the 4 games, lying in last place. Tempest and Moops not doing much better. And Unity, they actually had one of the best days yesterday.
Yeah,
in
for
fairness. So they've pulled themselves up to 13th.
And I really liked what we saw from Unity yesterday. It was a complete turnaround, right? They twice fought with Moops on different maps, right? One on Sanhok and then one on Miramar. And both times they managed to take down Moops in 16th place. They got a few placement points in with it, but then they struggled on the side of getting kills. So I think they've made progression. I'm looking forward to see if they can continue that today, and I think they know they need to do it, because to go from 16th to 13th is one thing, but to break into that top 8 is a whole different scenario. And these are our top 8 set of teams we have at the moment. And the first one we've got to notice is PGA team, right? Yes, you're only in 2nd place, but just look at the kill points to placement points, and they're still in such a good spot. And also, they've just been the most consistent. We keep talking about this team because they changed the player, and we did find out, I confirmed it with one of the Russian commentators, he turned around and said the reason they did change Nemerith is for the language. So their one, at least in my eyes, made more sense than the Unity one. If you're changing it for better communication is the key to success, hell yeah, let's get on with it. Like, let them have it. And they're now showing us why they're being so capable. But also, 3D Max yesterday had a blindingly good day. Nearly had that win on Erangel. My God, that was so close for him. But Quick Maths ripped it from underneath him.
And then another team that's looking pretty good is Airstation Mike. They moved from 7th to 4th place, getting so close to the likes of 3D Max and PG18.
And this is what it's all about, right? It's these teams now starting to realize, okay, we're seeing minor details within the game that we can act on. We're seeing ways we can improve on what we've been doing in order to not kind of drop out so early on. And some of the teams that are able to actually improve themselves on that minor details, they're the ones now that are going to reap the benefits of it, should I say. And as always, the point system stays exactly the same. The only change this time around, which is 5 matches on here. It looks like there's a lot more than 5 on it now. Suddenly, after seeing 4 for so many days, it's like 5. Boom, there we go. So yes, matches 13 through to 17 will be seen today. We're having 2 Erangel to start off with, then 2 Miramar, and finally ending on Sanhok. And we'll be finishing at just gone 10:30 in the evening. So if you are rocking with us nice and late, then make sure you do get up for school, work, whatever else you're doing in the morning. Well, you know, I would be happily guilty of this as many times where I'd be like, we will play one more game. And I look at the time and I'm like, well, I said that at 11, it's now 3 in the morning and I'm up in 4 hours. Rip. Big rip.
Gosh. It's, true story. God, I always remember Halo 3 days on the Xbox 360 doing that exact same thing. But I do want to mention and highlight not just PG18, but the top 3 teams, Milky Way, them, and 3D Max.
Yeah.
Just how, like, they've been the top 3 since the end of day 1, and they've all been so consistent. Sometimes their averages have, of course, dropped, which is normal when it comes to playing more games. You're not always going to have an amazing day. But for those 3 to keep those positions the way they are, essentially since the very start of the final stage, really tells a lot about them, how even their performances have been across the 3 days that we've had so far.
And it's all about keeping it going into this final day of the week. And again, we're going to keep talking about this today, is after that, they get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to sit there, look at everything, review all their demos, and they can take more time in it. Because the one thing to note is a lot of these players are not full-time. A lot of them are still professional players trying to take it to that next level, trying to live out their dreams. And I admire them for it. But also, if you're working, if you're going to school, college, university, whatever else alongside it, your time in the evenings after the games is pretty limited. So anything you do, generally, you've got to make Friday, Saturday, and Sunday work wonders for you.
You do. Now, this first game in Erangel, playing trajectory was fairly normal. We're actually seeing a very nice even drop. And for the first time, I think, since the start of finals, Milky Way have actually landed up in around the stall bar area, avoiding George Paul. Maybe they kind of realize that, look, okay, let's switch things up a bit. We're lying in first. Maybe we can afford to go forward. And that's where they are. So they'll be joining Jokers. But this phase 1 circle down to southwest, we've seen this a couple of times. PG-18, they always land where they have landed. YMCA get the Primorsk area all to themselves. But now we're going to see these teams looking to switch their way up, go in and rotate into the circle. And with the majority of the teams kind of landing kind of early enough, it's definitely going to be a bit of a tough rotation for some of these.
And a thing to note as well, we've already lost 2 players, I'm guessing through disconnects or whatever. Kissick seemed to disconnect and join back in, which is why he is miles away from the rest of BetterLuckNxTime. Now, they normally drop just outside of the ferry pier, more over towards his eastern side. Kissick is now outside of Gatka, but onto the far western side of it. Yes, he's in the circle, but I mean, he is so far away from the rest of his teammates. He just needs to be like the undercover ninja here, chilling, not showing himself, waiting it out, and hoping that he can join back up with these guys.
The good thing is that he can be a bit of a scout for the rest of his team as these teams rotate in. So he can give a little bit of information, but it would also be very vital, because they are in the circle already, that they do look to join together as a 4-man team relatively early enough, because we're going to have all these teams kind of crashing into compounds and crashing into the hot spots earlier than normal.
And that's what you have to be careful of, right? You need to ensure that if there are slight changes, like we've seen with ELGIG now not going to, now having all of George Paul back to themselves again, instantly, what I love from them is they go, oh, well, no one's joining us. Cool, we'll have 2 up in North, 2 down in South. We'll go back to exactly what we were used to in Group B. And for the players in Milky Way, they need to try and make Stalball work for them now. And it is a place where you can get some good success, but it's also one of the harder ones to rotate from, because you just find yourself going around kind of the long-distance way of taking yourself into a lot of these fights.
And especially with the phase 1 circles, you kind of find yourself going through areas that are either being looted or have been looted quite heavily, and it's just a bit of a risky, based on this phase 1 circle, but I'm sure they'll make it work. One team I do want to mention that had an absolutely great day was Tornado Energy yesterday. Really showed signs of the previous Tornado Energy that we've seen. They got a real nice amount of points. I think it was something like 39 points they got over the 4 games. That's nearly 10 points per game average. And they showed signs of what we've seen previously.
And I agree with you that, like, that's great to see the improvement from Tornado. But, I mean, God, it needed to happen. If it didn't happen yesterday, I'd start to feel like, well, Tornado, you're not making it, because we spoke so highly about them going into this phase, and we spoke so highly about them into the final stages. But sadly for them, they weren't able to get it all working in their favor early on. Now today, I want to see this continue, and if not, then I want to look at afterwards, and it comes into Monday, what are you changing, boys? What are you improving on? Because currently what you're doing isn't working.
You're dead right. As you see, shots being popped off towards 2 members of Team MOOPHEUS. Didn't have a good day yesterday. Jazza from Airstation Mike, he's currently lying on top of the kill lead with, I believe, 22 kills over the first week. Normally, and part of the reason why I mention it outside of him being on top is because, particularly in Airstation Mike, normally it's Hugstar throughout all the group stage. He was the player on Airstation Mike that was constantly on top of the kill tables, really fragging out, whereas Jazza has kind of found his place, found his spot, and it's nice to see him kind of shining through, at least in the team individually.
Yeah, and I think Airstation Mike, that was one of the things that was lacking in the early parts of this week, was the same style of play, that same aggression and confidence as well. Now we saw that yesterday come out. Can we see it happen again? Because, yes, they've had 2 wins in it. Yes, they're in a good place overall. But, I mean, it's still not quite the Airstation Mike we've seen as of yet.
Definitely not. It's also not the same Northern Lights we have seen.
Certainly not, yeah.
Far in this week, like yesterday, they only got like 8 points in the 4 games, and even then before that, they weren't really looking super strong.
No, easy for set. No problems at all. Got to be careful. Jappy's around the corner as well. Does a nice bit of damage onto Jappy, but won't be able to finish that one off. Jappy will most likely go in to finish him, though, straight away. And the other Jokers players, they're probably not going to get there in time. They've only just all left Severny. They're in vehicles, but far too late for that one. And actually, Phantom Where the hell did you get that from? You just stole set away from Jappy. Oh my God, they're up high. So wait a second. We've got Jokers coming to this location to come and protect their fallen teammate. But now 3D Max is on the other side as well. If you're last crew, you're getting the hell out of there. And that's exactly what they're doing. They just realized, like, well, okay, we'll allow you to have that one kill. We lost the player already. We're not looking to fight just yet.
Like, what can you say? Like, I suppose that's a reason why 3D Max are currently lying third overall. They take every chance that they can get to steal a kill away. You do the hard work, guys. We'll just pick up the pieces.
You're actually hugely right there as well, because remember in the game yesterday on Erangel, which they came second in, they were stealing kills from pretty much everyone. As soon as there was a knock in, there's 3D Max sat in their compound from far away. Remember, they kept using that ridge line, popping up, steal a kill, pop up, steal a kill.
It was.
And hey, if that can work, if that can net you those extra points, then hell yeah, if you've got the confidence to do it.
Of course. Got to pick your opportunity, got to pick your moment to get those games in. As InsideGames, they're going to cross the bridge. You're actually taking a military base route. Now, guys, if you want to check out the map stream yourself, there is a dedicated one for you. Just press exclamation mark map in chat.
I never thought he was going to land that shot. Sorry there, Cormac.
No, that's cool, mate.
They did not look like that was going to happen. Melman's gone down as well. Quick math, they are not slowing down. Diggers managed to get the nade onto Melman straight after as well. So he got the nade already, thrown it before, then took the shots, and then boom, down he goes. Nice little standoff between these two teams. There's some distance on it as well. Now, looking at teams fighting early, one thing I've realised in this week, Northern Lights seem to be a team that no matter where they go, where the circle goes, what happens, they meet a team that will end up challenging them early, right?
Yep.
How often do we see that someone is shooting at Northern Lights and they're just running away? Maybe you guys need to turn around and actually just fight them. Like, try it. I'm normally against fighting too early when there's no benefit, right? You're both in the circle. You're not going for any other position. And you can still have areas to fight from. But if you're Northern Lights now, this keeps happening. Try and fire back. Why not?
Well, they were doing that. It happened with them and MJ Esports in the group stage, and they did fight back. And they won most of the trades. And that's kind of what helped them overall in the group stage standing. So you're absolutely dead right, James. I would totally agree for them to just be maybe a little bit more aggressive. But tell you what, quick math, they are definitely looking a bit more aggressive against Tornado Energy in this first game. A grenade gets thrown out. It connects onto Aaliyah. Nicely done by Diggory. Smoke is looking to dissipate, so that kill will most likely go over to Diggory sooner rather than later, leaving Tornado Energy down to just 2 players.
2 players early on, Example and Comp just going to run away from this one. There's no need for them to stick around. Milky Way won't have a problem at this stage. It's only phase 1. They're not too far away. You can see them just at the north of Georgia Pole. The new circle shifts, though. A lot of water still included. We're still including Primorsk and Ferry Pier. Unity won't be complaining about this one either because they can just go over the bridge and still maintain a good spot if they wanted to. It depends how far they want to go in, though. Do they want to try and challenge some of these teams who have gone for more central positions? The problem I don't like about this area of the map is that it is so open. Like, as soon as we start to get closer into this, compounds get cut off. There's not really places to fight from. You end up in very open fights where you're just looking for trees and rocks as cover. And the fields themselves, you've only got the bloody hay barrels, barrels to sit behind.
And then Quarry isn't really an area that there's only kind of north and the south of Quarry that is really viable for these teams. I'll tell you what, where Tempest are going is definitely a good spot. I really like where they're heading as a Wonder of PG18 now joining up, looking for better luck next time.
And Wanderer seems to have an idea of it. Doesn't want to overcommit just yet. Got a good spread on his utility. Had 1 Molotov, 4 grenades, and then 3 smokes, I believe. He's going to just move the car, reposition himself a bit. Hjort chasing down some of the quick math players. Now, Tempest still have 4 alive. Peltzage is going to be left alone for now. Hjort got to play this smart. Tries to get the nade off. Really nice as well, the underhand nade. That was on the money, literally. Peltzig moved and he was like, yep, I'm well aware what's going to happen there. He'll go down as well. Diggory's been knocked at the same time, which means they're under pressure from both Unity and Tempest. You said you liked Tempest's position here, Cormac. Can they make it work out for him? Because only 2 quick math players remain.
True, but I also like Unity's position. They hold it on top of the hill that overlooks these buildings, which is why it's worked out for them. It's part of the reason why they got knocked down onto one of quick math's players. And then Silenzo is there. Jupsik is also going away from that building, so it's kind of leaving Silenzo on his own. I don't know. Will he be able to do that? We've seen him pull in some clutch plays in a couple of these games, but with Tempest kind of surrounding him is definitely going to be tough.
He's in Salenso trying to work his way in. Wookie might see him from afar if he decides to step out of the building.
Yeah.
Short getting a nade pinned already. Expects the player maybe to be up high. If you're Tempest, though, there's a good chance that you could just storm up the building together.
True. And I would totally agree with that because you want to close it out sooner rather than later. You don't want to spend too much time focusing on one player and kind of maybe forgetting about where the other team's rotating, looking at the long game, so to speak. And that's something I fear some teams do. They just spend too long in one situation that they can close out quite easily.
Tornado, they run from one threat to another. Noki instantly able to get the finish off onto Example. Compot the only one that remains, and we can see it already. He's on a bike and he's getting out of there. He knows this is not worth sticking around for, but as he decides to move, he might be found by plenty of other teams as Ensalenso nearly went in for the finish off there. Very lucky from Tempest. They'll only find Hjort getting knocked down. Hanny instantly able to capitalize on it. They do stand strong. They will keep everyone alive. And now ToWzErA is the only one left for Quick Math here.
I do agree with ToWzErA exiting that situation.
Oh, definitely.
Engaging.
He couldn't get in that building to help Ensalenso.
Yeah.
And I think even Ensalenso realised, like, even if I try to get out the building, there's a player outside. It's going to be difficult no matter what. As a new circle shifts, we just go up north. We still include Quarry just about. Jokers have occupied that for now.
Yeah, YMCA did have that, but they exited that area and have gone down to the south by the coastline compounds. Milky Way.
It's YMCA on the coastline again. 3 times in a row. They just love it. It's the key to success for these boys.
They love playing the edge of the circle.
I'm not against it. If that's what your strategy, if that's what your game plan is, then why the hell not? And remember, YMCA even had a good game yesterday where they had 3 players left alive. So we got all 4 up and running now. We can see Mr. Turbo moving forward, and he's chasing down some of the MOOPHEUS players as the rest of his teammates take shots at it. But you don't want to overextend too far. Oh no, ToWzErA. You have been spotted. You have been seen. Your car's going to get blown to smithereens, but you don't go down just yet. This is I don't know where to go.
I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I am stuck. Please help me.
InsideGames are rotating up northwards, going past the edge of Gaka and those kind of airstrips. And now going around up to the north side. Avoiding a lot of those teams. Northern Lights and 3D Max, especially.
InsideGames did well to escape from all that as well. Heavily under fire, will find themselves now back in the circle, up in the northern side, and it's quite an empty side. Now, they may have been spotted out doing their rotation. Obviously, Northern Lights saw them.
Although, if you do look pretty closely, Mapnoki's kind of gone into those compounds on his own, just below where InsideGames are, so see where that does play out. Milky Way, they made their way up from Stallbar. They went to George Powell. We saw one member knocked down, got revived in the blue zone, and then they rotated down all the way down the west coast.
Quick Math will be going down as our first team out on our opening game here today. Ubica and PG-18 finding these InsideGames players. Now, InsideGames found their way in the northern side of the circle. They've just tried to get into this compound and realized that, well, it's all been taken up by other teams, and they'll be quickly out in 15th place with little to no resistance there.
It's kind of what happens when you leave it so late to rotate, or you're indecisive with your rotations, because it's not like they were, well, actually they went to Military Island, then they went outside of Military Island, and they were just leaving it too late. And at that point, it's such a high risk, and without that reward, we're seeing them eliminated in 15th place.
Now we see many teams found their spots they want to fight from, at least for now. 3D Max being the most split up within this.
And look at
wow.
Look at Airstation Mike, though. Center of the circle they were. They still have that compound. They don't need to exit away from it.
No, they can sit again and chill, waiting out.
Yeah.
Unity, though, they're going to now go and find their way around Quarry. Quizzy's just going to get himself now inside the circle. They'll get themselves healed up and then begin their push in. So they'll be coming in behind Jokers. And Jokers, they left Quarry a little while ago. They might not be fully aware that the Unity players are here. Depends on what noise has been made. PG-18, they never seem to want to stop. This time around, they're going to be dealing with BetterLuckNxTime. The interesting point here is PG-18 didn't move. BetterLuckNxTime went in for them. So these teams are trying to fight off for compounds, and it's just not working out. More often than not, unless you can get a surprise push onto a compound, it's so hard to challenge it unless you can maybe get an early knock from somewhere. But in a fight like this, look at PG-18. Look at all this utility being used. They're taking shots at you. They're dropping the grenades down. Multiple kills coming in. Only KnorkiS is currently up. Everyone else is knocked down.
What can you do? Look,
He's
flanking around. He's going behind the rock. He's got to be careful because there is a couple of teams around him. So he's got to be super quick, super active with those shots.
And he couldn't see it through the flames either. They were both there right in front of him. He had no idea. Takes a few shots at KnorkiS, who has no idea where to turn. Look at this being done. Dees needs to land a few more of these shots. So unfortunate there. The job gets done. They do go on the cleanup duty, and PG-18 truly annihilate BetterLuckNxTime.
It was definitely a little bit tough, but they got it done in the end as Northern Lights connect onto Tempest. Clip Bucky and Hani just left up standing. So even though Northern Lights, they constantly seem to be in action, they're still going strong, but now 3D Max looking to join the fun.
And you say still going strong, 3D Max straight away hear gunshots and say, oh, there's something for us to fight? Okay, yeah, hi, we're coming. We're getting involved. And there's only 2 Northern Lights players left in it already. So 2 from Northern Lights, 3 from Tempest, and you've got a full 3D Max squad coming at you.
3D Max have looked so aggressive in this game alone. They've constantly been on the move. They've been in a circle. It's worked out so well as Nukta finds AK's skills. Now looking for another last crew member. All the while he is popping off on the kill feed as Bucky gets taken out, but to return.
Nade went a bit too far though. There's Rip looking to do some serious damage against Unity players. Couldn't get the finish off onto Quizzy there, but he's still trying to work his way around it. Using the tree for cover and hoping one of them is going to poke him very soon. Anuctive, he's come from the fight he was previously taking with Last Crew, and he's going to go straight in and take down Rip, knowing that the other 2 players are left behind him.
There is Jappy left standing in between the smoke, but you've got Jokers, you've got Milky Way, you've got YMC all shooting in that direction. And Offstring does get it done, and Last Crew are eliminated in 13th place as the Boom finds Offstring. DP finds Sampula. 3 squads going at each other.
And Unity can get involved in this anytime they want as well. They're not far away. They can get themselves healed back up and come in at full strength if they want to. DP spraying them down, though. Nicely done. Offstring does get finished off, but DP's not done yet.
Now, the smoke with the blue zone is hurting Unity, right? And they've got to go downhill. It does help that YMCA has been eliminated by Joker, so now the attention turns onto Unity as Jokers are looking their direction, Milky Way are looking in their direction. All teams are on the edge of the circle, and Nukta will go down, leaving Snoopy and Quizzy left standing. Actually, no, Snoopy goes down, sorry, leaving Quizzy on his own.
And this is what happens, right? You can take these fights, but where we're already onto quite a small area, and it's an open area as well, many of these teams can third party a lot easier than what we see in other style endings.
Now, there is ELGIGANTEN are there just above Joker, so they could also play a big part in this fight between these couple of teams as Jazza connects onto Tempest. Tempest are eliminated in 11th place. Tempest, they look to kind of go in onto a compound that Airstation Mike had in a 2-2 split. Didn't work out. They go down. There's still compot to the east side of where 2 members of Airstation Mike are. It is now going to start restricting. He's in the open field. He's got a bit of a dip for himself for now, but with so many players around him, I don't know. It's going to be tough for him to get into the circle.
Now we're looking at a 3 versus 3 for Milky Way and Jokers. Milky Way pushing up, but the Boom starts off with a knockdown. Good stuff from him, and he's looking for more. Plenty of damage done, but the Boom, he does eventually get picked off. Will they be able to fight this off? DP trying to handle all the pressure from both sides there. It's just not going to be enough this time around. The Boom and Moon once again for the Jokers. I feel like I repeat this saying over and over again, but these guys, they are just like tag team unit who can do so much together. Brilliant stuff, but again for Jokers, you lost a lot from that.
They did. However, they're going to keep going strong. It does give them a little bit more freedom inside the circle because ELGIGANTEN, they stay kind of passive. Unity rotated up north, but they will go down in 9th place at the hands of ELGIGANTEN. So it actually really has helped Jokers, to be honest. It's part of the reason why we only saw it of Milky Way versus Jokers. But it's still going to be tough. He's going to make his way down south away from ELGIGANTEN. Team Moops are kind of just onto the east side of them. We are down to 8 teams with nearly all of them bar Tornado Energy and Northern Lights, although Northern Lights go down outside the circle. So the only one that's left outside the circle is Tornado Energy, and that's Compa all on his own.
And he might just be letting himself go out at this point because he knows Airstation Mike are looking directly at him.
Yep.
Moonsea, right? 7 kills already for Jokers in total. Moon now moving forward. He gets to get taken down by double, but even then, you hit a 7th place with 7 kills. You're really not going to complain about that for these guys.
Definitely not, indeed. And we know that they kind of go hard or go home from that point of view. We did just lose Tornado Energy. That was bound to happen in the blue zone, as we're now down to 5 teams with 20 players. So it's kind of because the majority of the teams that are left all have full squads up. PG18, 3D Max, Airstation Mike, Team Moops. Although with knockdowns coming down at plenty, it might be a matter of time before we lose player after player.
Yeah, Moops and Elgig are going to fight each other here down in the south. Both getting a knock individually done. But they're soon going to have to make sure they can try and get into this circle. The south side is still clear as well, but the closer they get, means that Airstation Mike should be able to spot them out as well.
And because they have to go downhill, it's so hard because they're just exposed. It's free reign for PG18, Airstation Mike, and 3D Max to pop off. The only hope that they have is PG18, Airstation Mike are kind of maybe more focused on each other, or they're focused on 3D Max, which could give a bit more room for the likes of Elgig or Team Moots to rotate. And that's kind of what Elgig are doing. They sort of kind of, they got the knockdown on the Team Moots. They got one member of their team knocked down. They're playing a much more safer game than we've seen from Elgig, and I like it.
3D Max needs to be careful here. Your cars get slowed down, you can easily be blown to smithereens, and you've got 2 players in each vehicle. Less than ideal. Deez gets the drop on them, and 3D Max go down in flames. The cars get blown up, and PG18 are loving life right now.
We did see Team Moops crash the compound of 2 Airstation Mike members. ToWzErA gets taken down, but fake comes in, gets a return onto Doran, and they don't survive because of the manpower that Airstation Mike had. And because they had it as a 2-2 split, they reacted very quickly to the second they realized Team Moops were crashing them.
PG18 are in the best position to win this if they want to now. They've got this whole northern side. They've got the biggest compound within it. Recrent is holding strong, and he can also look towards where Elgig are coming to from the west.
They can indeed. They're nicely spread out. We've got 2 1-on-1 split. All of the Airstation Mike members that are left, with just 3 of them, are in that one building. It will just take a good few grenades from any of the PG18 members to get it done. But I think because they're going away from it where Airstation Mike are, and I think they realize that Elgig are kind of rotating down south, and it's a bit more of a free option, as you're seeing Recrent popping off to Morpheus.
Biding his time. Look at these shots that are going to come in. Recrent, he knows exactly what's going on. He can call this into his teammates. ghostar not in a vehicle either, though, making his way down. Recrent can see exactly where he is, might be able to take a nice shot into him. Jazza's also shooting him at ghostar. He gets the headshot dropped on him, and Recrent still able to deliver from that position.
Yeah, PG18.
Oh, onto KnorkiS.
Oh, wow.
Recrent, they have no idea either.
Oh. PG18 are on 11 kills already.
If he keeps this up, it's soon going to be 12. Recrent able to do plenty of damage. KnorkiS just holding, hiding, waiting, hoping that he can stay alive for a little bit longer. Marcelek, he's trying to run away. He's trying to make this happen, but it's not easy for him at all. Plenty of damage coming his way, and Deez then chimes in as well. Elgig, they pick one up, another one gets knocked down.
Honestly, that's poetic stuff from PG18. Just tracing the movement, using the bullets in the smoke to actually push Elgig out of the way, out of the smoke. But Morpheus does return fire, getting a knockdown onto these. Could that actually pay an advantage to Airstation Mike? Because they've kind of been quiet. They haven't really been too active because they're letting PG18 and Elgig take each other out. But now Hugstar finds KnorkiS, they're starting to light themselves up.
And Hugstar may have got the headshot on him, but Recrent's the one to steal it away from him. Both teams fully focused on Elgig right now. And ghostar, he has to be oh so careful. Low on health, managed to get himself further down towards the tree with the vehicle. But is it going to be enough here? Is Marcelek, he's the next one out. ghostar on the floor, his teammates are not even close to him, and he's taking damage from the side.
It was always going to be so hard for Elgig to survive this. They're still going with one member, that's MOORPHEUS. But I feel like it's a matter of time. Again, the only thing that he has going for him is now that Airstation Mike and PG18 are kind of realizing, okay, wait, we've done the hard work on the LGIG. Let's turn our attention onto each other. That could pay off for MOORPHEUS in the next minute or two.
And I spoke about the Wanderer, and we still had 15 teams left alive in the utility he had. He's still got 2 grenades and 3 smokes and a Molotov to use here. This guy is kitted out beyond belief, and he can quite happily challenge further forward. Airstation Mike, they're clustered together. All it would take is a couple of well-placed nades and a good spray down to really upset them here.
Look at Wanderer, he's just been on his own a little bit forward, doing a little bit of scouting. Fake has a grenade, predicting that they might have to use it pretty quickly. Jazza ducking dive behind the dip, takes about 60 damage on his head as Wanderer knocks down Hugstar.
Nade going to go out straight away, underhand it, beautifully done. Hugstar doesn't have a chance. Fake also getting knocked down. More kills coming up, 5 for the Wanderer, and this must be getting close to 18, or it's 15 kills now for PG18. If they want to get the rest of the players in there, they can certainly do it.
I'm literally gobsmacked at how smooth and clean PG18 are taking it. There's nothing dirty, there's nothing messy. They're just picking them off one by one, playing it safe, being calculated with their plays. ELGIG do get eliminated. Ubika finds MOORPHEUS. That's going to be kill number 17, and with 1 member left, you gotta say it's going to be an 18-kill game for PG18, unless Jazza doesn't pay off as PG18 take the first game of the day with a dominating performance.
28 for PG18. That will see them skyrocket their way into first place off that game. What a way for it to be done. And like you were saying there, it wasn't sloppy, it wasn't chaotic. It was very well calculated, smart decisions coming out from these guys, but also just the way they were approaching it. Wanderer pushed up. He could have gone much earlier. It must have been in his mind thinking, oh yeah, I can go for this. But there was no need. He waited for his teammate to come with him. They both dealt with it together. Recrent stayed in that apartment for so long, just tapping away. He was the real reason that ELGIG had nowhere to move.
Definitely. And I suppose it does help that on the back of yesterday's games in Erangel, where they were very messy because of the rotations and the circles, this game just looked overall a lot cleaner, and even the team fights were kind of very, it was one team against another team most of the time, other than the odd third partying. So it was a lot nicer game just to watch and view and admire what these teams were doing, especially PG18. Every single team that they went up against, they shut down in a matter of seconds.
Now, interestingly enough, in terms of how it went down in kills, we saw 7 for 7th place Jokers, 0 for Tornado Energy, but they got a 6th place. 3D Max only walking away with 3 kills, despite how aggressive they were, breaching compounds and actually picking up some kills. Then we saw Moops get 3 kills on 4th place, ELGIG with 5, Airstation Mike with 5, and obviously PG18 rocking it on 18.
It's just going to give them such a nice lead on top of the table. Joker's got to say, they again, the Boom and Moon just really are stand out for Jokers. Again, I've kind of been, they play, in my opinion, such a unique play style compared to every other team. I've mentioned it yesterday, and I've been kind of looking back on the VODs where they'll loot separately. Some of them will join together. They might lose a player early, but it doesn't really stop them from getting a good result. It might stop them from getting the best result, and maybe if they evolve their play style a bit more, but considering their play style, to get the points that they're getting, I think is really impressive.
And this at the end was just the PG18 show. Perfectly done. And then Jazza at the end, there was only so much he could do. Best he was hoping for was 1 kill potentially, but it didn't go his way, as we see 4 teams at the bottom with 0 kills. YMCA, Last Crew, BetterLuckNxTime, and InsideGames.
Then we did see Quick Math with 2, Tornado Energy with 2, Milky Way with a couple, and then moving on up, and as we saw, PG18, 28 points. It's not quite 29 that Milky Way got. It's not quite 30, but that takes nothing away from the dominating performance. Airstation Mike still double digits, followed by ELGIG. That's, again, another team that, hey, look, they played a bit safer. They were a little bit kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of they were down south. They had to go downhill to try and get into the circle. Maybe they could have done it a little bit quicker, but then they were going into open fields.
Now look at this. The top 4 damage dealers are just PG-18. Then Daboom's up there as well, of course, rightly so. This is Mr. Daboom from Jokers. Then we see just a kind of split on other players throughout Airstation. Mike, Unity, Tempest, Milky Way, Hugstar still in there hanging on at the end.
I think that's the first time we've seen the top 4 being one team from a damage point of view.
In this phase, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And nearly the same for kills, right? Ubica, Dees, and the Wanderer. 6-5-5.
Absolutely mental. Nice to see Ubica finding his place, finding his spot, finding himself very comfortable. This is a head-to-head. You can't really compare, right? 2,600 damage, 18 kills, 28 points. Airstation Mike, 900 damage, 5 kills. Still a solid return and a solid result for them.
Yeah, and for Airstation Mike, I think all they would have maybe wanted to do is try and hunt for them Elgig kills a little bit earlier than what they did, because they waited for a long time. They had to be cautious because of where PGA team was as well, but they couldn't really get involved in the fights as Elgig rotated down.
And I don't know, maybe they were just maybe they had kept a really nice eye on the kill feed and noticed that PGA team were being, more active than the other teams. So it's kind of like, look, we could be more aggressive, but that could affect our overall standing. Because the second we go out of place, PGA team will turn our attention onto us.
Well, that was a great start to this final day of the first week for the final stages of PUBG Europe Contenders. Final is the way it will go. But we're not on the final game just yet. There's 3 more to come your way. No, 4 more to come your way. There we go. See? Not even used to it yet. 5 games for today. So 4 more coming your way. We've got to wrangle one more time. Let's see if PGA team can do it again, or will another team step up and deliver? You'll be finding out shortly.